Good evening. Once again, I'm here to present my um, webinar on the topic today is screen time and autism, how the brain develops. And I'm here to help parents to design a detox plan, how we can create a digital detox plan, how we can avoid the screen time or gradually reduce the screen time. So allow me a minute. I'll just start with my presentation. As usual, we will start like initially we will have 35 to 40 minutes of presentation, PPT, and then I'll be open to take your questions. Whatever questions you have, you can put it in your YouTube live chat box and we'll take it from there. So, screen time, autism, and brain development. Understanding the impact and creating a practical digital detox plan. That is the agenda for today's session. The reality check is screens are becoming digital babysitters. Nowadays, we are seeing that screens are replacing parents. Whenever a parent is occupied, child is given the screen. The mother wants to work in the kitchen, child is left with TV or mobile phone. The father wants to work on his laptop, or some guests have come home and father wants to talk to them, child is left with digital screens. Moreover, if the child is distressed, child is not feeling well, or child is exhibiting some sort of behavior, we give them the screen to settle them down. Even in the social conditions, when we take them out, just to keep them occupied, we give them the screen. Child goes with you to the restaurant and child wants to explore. A 3 years, 4 years old child learns from exploring. So child runs here and there, touches tablecloth, or holds the coasters there, or the crockery there, cutlery. And this is all the learning process of the child, by touching, by seeing, by feeling. But we just give them the screen because we want them to sit idle. And then later we blame children are addicted to the screen. So this addiction starts from where? That we need to see. So the screens nowadays are becoming digital babysitters. Children are interacting more with devices than people. And it's not only the children, even parents are highly engaged with the screen. So we need to look into both the aspects, not only child screen time, but also the parent screen time. That is also very important. The family culture of screen time is very important. So the common parents belief, many a times when I speak with parents at my rehab unit and talk to them about screen time and its effect, they say that my child watches only the learning videos on YouTube or elsewhere, or I'm giving some learning videos to the child through some app and which are designed for the children. And it is necessary to keep him calm. And it is helping the child to develop the vocabulary. These all are the excuses which parents give to us when we talk about screen time. Reality is, this is passive exposure and it is not real learn. See, when we are teaching someone, when we are working with the child face to face, child is not just seeing and listening. Child is copying, child is reading the face expressions, child is connecting with you, child is making eye contact, and child is able to pick up from your lips, from your jaw movement. Child is able to respond. All of this, along with understanding emotions, that is not possible in the virtual environment. So that is just the passive exposure, and it cannot be equal to the real learning. Yes, child can learn. I agree. But this cannot be the real learning. So let's first look into how brain develops And what happens in brain with screen? Why are we against screen time for children? So the brain development takes place 0 to 6 years. In the previous sessions, also people who have attended my previous sessions, they know it well that I have been talking about the brain's growth and development. So 0 to 6 years, that are the early years of life, are very critical. You'll be surprised to know within the first 1 year, brain doubles the size. And by the 5.5 year, or at the most 6 years, 90% of brain growth happens. Remember, growth and development are two different things. So we are just talking about growth first. And along with the growth, development happens. So growth means growing in size, growing in weight. And development is acquiring new skills. So 0 to 6 years are very critical for a brain, because that is the time when brain is growing at a fastest speed than any other time in the life. So more and more synapses are being created, and child is learning not only from talking, from communication, but child learns from exploration. Child learns from the emotions. Child learns from the family members, or interaction child has with the environment. So brain develops through the experiences child has. Now, how does this brain develop? Through sensory input from our senses, whatever information what we are seeing, what we are hearing, or what we are tasting, all of these senses, what we are touching, all of these sensory input, brain develops from this. Then the movement, body movement, moving from one place to another place. Social interaction that we do with our parents, initially the parents or the family members or the peer children. And emotional bonding. So not only just the sensory input, movement, social interaction, but the emotional bonding is also very, very important for a child's brain to develop. So child needs to have that care, love, and affection. He needs to bind emotionally with the environment, and then the brain starts developing. Now, the role of interaction is not just talking to the child, but it is about eye contact, facial expressions, turn taking, and communication. And these all are the basic foundations which build neural pathways in later. Let us look into the synapses formation. So connections strengthen with use. The synapses in the brain, more we use it, the connections strengthen. It's like drawing a line over another line, over another line, over another line. So the line becomes dark, dark, darker, 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 darkest. So the more you practice, more you work with the children, children learn it more. So connections strengthen with use. And there is a principle, use it or lose it. So you teach something to the child, but if you don't practice, child gets into lose it phase. If child is not practicing it. So whatever new thing you are learning, and if you are not using it, it goes to out of the memory. It's flushed out. And repetition builds the intelligence. So how brain develops is through the experiences, more number of practices, and through your use it or lose it concept. So whatever skills child is learning, that needs to be practiced in different environments. And repetition builds the intelligence as well. More you repeat, you become more intelligent. Intelligence level increases. Now let's look into, now we know how brain develops. Let's look into brain needs versus what screen gives. So brain needs are interaction, and screen gives only passive input. It is just one-way information that is coming and you are taking. While you are taking this information, there are a lot of questions in your mind, but there is nobody to answer those questions. Now, when I'm talking to you right now also, you may be having a lot of questions running in your mind, or some things, whether this person is saying right or this person is saying wrong. Oh, we already know this. Oh, this is this time they are keeping the webinar. All those things is going on in the mind. But if there is no one to answer those questions, then it becomes just the passive input, and screen provides only passive input. For the brain development, interaction, two-way interaction is important, not just the input. Then movement. The screen does not provide movement. It is stillness. Then we looked into emotion. So screen gives very limited as response in emotions. Child can just look at the emotions on the screen and replica that. And exploration. Again, in the screen, there is fixed content. Whatever the content is, child needs to look at that content. There is no opportunity for the child to explore. Now, if you are not getting the interaction, movement, emotion, and exploration, which are the basic needs of the brain to develop, definitely there are chances that brain will not be able to develop as per the standard. And then comes the impact of screen on the brain. So let's look into how brain gets impacted by screen exposure. Screen versus human brain nutrition. So when you feed your children, you know what is junk food and what is nutritious food. You allow them junk food sometimes, but not that every meal is junk food you give them. You be strict about it, you explain it to them, and you draw the boundaries. You say only on Sundays you'll be getting junk foods like chips, chow mein, or the fast foods, burger, or the biscuits, and all those things which are categorized as junk food. So you draw the boundaries for them, you explain it to them. You don't keep on feeding, though the child is asking, demanding for it all the time, but you don't keep on giving junk food to your child. The screen is junk food. It is junk stimulation. Then why do you fulfill the demand of child for junk stimulation for the brain? For body development, you know that we need to give nutritious food to our child, and you don't give junk food. But what will you do with that body which is developed and where brain is not developed? Is it going to be useful for you? It's going to be struggle, more the struggle for you. So we need to look into the growth of the body as well as the development of the brain together. So for growth of the body, we are giving food that is nutritious. Okay, once in a while, we are allowing some sort of junk food, okay, for some stimulation to the child as a reward, as reinforcement, or as just change. Similarly, brain development should be addressed. So you need to give the interaction, that is the nutrition for the brain, not the screen. Screen is junk stimulation, can be given once in a while, but it should not be a regular habit for the children. There is a dopamine cycle effect in the brain. So the fast visuals that you see, they release dopamine. That's why children get addicted to screen. Why brain gets addicted to the stimulation? Because dopamine is being released. So dopamine creates arousals in the body. Child immediately feels happy and satisfied. So the fast visuals that they see, and that's why people, not only the children, I'm not talking about children with autism, children with not autism, children with some other disabilities or some other disorders or differences. I'm talking about human being, you and I also. More the fast visuals we see, more we get addicted. And that's what is happening these days. The reels, which we are seeing, short videos and reels, which we are seeing on YouTube and on other social media platforms. Just analyze yourself. The habit of watching videos is slowly fading. and we want everything in shortcut now. So if you create a video, if somebody is creating a content of 1 hour, content, very important content, and the other person creates a summary of that 1 hour content into 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or as a reel in 3 minutes, you prefer watching that reel, not the real content. Why does that happen? Because fast visuals. Reels have fast visuals, they release dopamine. And then your brain gets stimulation, gets addicted to this stimulation, and then real world feels boring. Now you understand why children do not want to leave screen. Children who are addicted to the screen, or people who are addicted to the screen, because for them, the real world is boring. And what we do is, the moment we come to know, read somewhere, attend some webinars like this, or connect with a doctor, and doctor says, no screen time for the child. Immediately from the same day, we ask the child to stop screen time. So we take the mobile off, we hide it, we don't allow them to watch TV. A child who has been watching 7, 8 hours of content every day, with breaks or without breaks, suddenly in one day, whole environment is changed. Suddenly. And child is forced to feel the real world that is boring for the child. And that's why they get into stress, distress, and then we have no other option than to give them the phone. And the mothers or the parents usually come and tell me, sir, what to do? Child does not eat food without it. What to do, sir? Child does not listen to me. So I have to give screen. There is no other option. Options are there. Where are those options? In the last line on the screen, what you are seeing. Real world feels boring. If you want to stop the screen, give them something that is more interesting than the screen. And there is no possibility that child will not leave screen. You don't have to force the child to leave screen, or yourself also. Find something that gives you more release of dopamine. Find something that is more interesting for you. So always look into child's strengths, connect the child with the real world, and make the world happening around the child. So the activities, involvement of the child in daily day-to-day things, and giving more into having more interaction with the child. So now you understand why we get addicted to the screen, and it affects our attention span, reduced attention, difficulty focusing, and increases impulsivity. It also affects language development. So lack of interaction, reduced verbal exchange, delayed expressive language. These are the impact of the screen time. Emotional regulation, that is one of the biggest challenge that we see, because child with the screen exposure does not understand the emotions or management of their emotions. That's called emotional regulation. So difficulty managing emotions, increased irritability because I'm not able to express or manage my emotions, then I get irritated, and dependency on screen programming. Then again, I go back to the issue that is screen. So since I'm not able to interact with the real world, I'm not able to adjust with the real world, I find screen more interesting. I want to go back to the screen. So it becomes a cycle. You try to pull the child out of the screen time, but child is finding difficulties in interacting with you due to the communication challenges, language challenges, or demands from you, which child is not able to do it. The physical tasks, which child has not been doing it. You want to involve the child immediately from the screen time. The next day, you want to involve the child into activities. Okay, we'll go outdoor play. Outdoor play, in just one day, a child was sitting 4 hours in front of the screen, in front of the TV every day. And today, suddenly you want child to come out and go with you to the outdoor play. How is that possible? So child gets distressed, and then you have to give the screen to calm the child down. So again, you give the screen, again their learning gets impacted, their language, their all the domains that we have discussed, emotions and everything. And then again, child gets distressed. Once you take off the screen, you give the screen back. You take off the screen, you give the screen back. And this is the fighting going on for last 6 months, 1 year, 3 months. I have been trying to do this. It's like one day we are successful, another day we are back to zero. 2 days, 3 days, we are able to do it. Fourth day, we are zero. Because you create stimulation in the real world, but you don't sustain with that. Okay, stimulation. Today we are going for a picnic. Child leaves the screen. Child comes with you, but you cannot take the child every day for picnic. Then after 1 day, 2 day, after the picnic ends, then you have second thing, garden activity ends. Child finds it okay. It's fine. I have explored. Now I want to go back to the screen. It also disturbs the screen time, also disturbs the sleep. So the blue light that comes from the screen affects melatonin. It turns into poor sleep quality and behavioral issue increases. Because of the sleep disruption, behavioral issues. You just don't sleep one night or sleep for just put alarms, multiple alarms after every 1 hour, 1.5 hour in your phone or in your alarm clock and sleep. And then you wake up, then sleep, wake up, then sleep, wake up, and then sleep, and just analyze your behavior the next day. Your diet, your food intake will reduce, your sleep, because of sleep disturbance, your behavior will change. Either you'll be agitated, irritated, or you'll be aggressive. And this is what we see in our children. So I always say anything that you want to see why child is doing like this, just put yourself in the shoes of child. Just apply that environment to you. You will also behave the same way. And that's why autism, I believe, is not a disorder. It's just a difference. Different way of brain processing, different way of experiencing the world, and different way of expressing to the world. That's it. If you put yourself in the same brain processing manner, you will also have the same output. And then you'll say, oh, I am also with autism. So everybody in the world is with autism. Autism is just the difference because we all take the informations differently. Our sensory system works differently. We process them differently and we express ourselves differently. So some or other traits of autism, everybody has. So we don't have to worry about autism. It is not a disorder. It is not a disease, of course. So that we need to look into. We just need to support. Because the social norms are there, child is struggling to fit into these social norms. We just need to support the child. So the screen time creates overstimulation. Because of fast changing visuals, we have already discussed this. And because of sensory overload, brain becomes hyper dependent. Then brain is trained. Our brain is plastic. It learns very fast. It molds itself. Adaptability is the very interesting it's like this element of our brain. So we adapt. So if I'm watching more of the screen, more of the fast changing visuals, my brain becomes hyper dependent. For everything I need fast, fast, fast. Everything I want to do fast. And that reflects in my behavior. That reflects in my expectations also. And that creates overstimulation. Then screen time also impacts on your imagination and play. Your creativity gets reduced. Pretend play is very less, and problem solving also becomes limited. So see, screen time is not just affecting your health physically. Screen time is affecting all domains of your body. Physical health is the core domain, okay. But along with physical health, you are seeing how it is affecting your behavior, it's affecting your pretend play, imaginative play, it is giving you overstimulation. So the screen provides stimulation, not development. So parents of children with 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years who come to me and say, I'm using this app or that app, this is developed for children and this is good for children. I'm sorry. Nothing can replace the parent interaction. Nothing can replace the parent interaction. Your child needs your time. Doesn't need to learn from the apps. Because these apps can give passive learning. They will give learning, fine, but that is passive learning, not interactive learning. A child of 3 years in general should ask you not less than 100 questions in a day. And if child is not asking, you should ask those questions to the child and answer. 100 questions, 3 years old child, sir, what are you talking? Yes. We are going to the school. Why are we going to the school? We are going to the school to study. Why there are so many children on the road? They all are waiting to cross the road. Why we are going in red car? Because Papa has purchased the red car. He likes red color. Why our car is not blue? Because Mama suggested to go for the blue color, red color, not blue. So you have to ask questions and you have to answer them. If the child has deficits in communication, otherwise, prompt the child to ask questions. What are you looking at? Child says car. What color car is? Child says red. Do you like red color? Whose favorite red color is? Likewise, you need to interact with the children. Problem is when child is non-verbal, we become non-verbal with them. Child is on one word, we go on one word. Child is on 2 words, we go on 2 words. Child is having misarticulation issues. Child is not able to speak, produce some sounds. We also purposely start talking to them like this. I've seen many parents. A child, instead of saying chacha, says tata. For the people who don't understand Hindi, chacha is a word for uncle in Hindi. So instead of saying chacha, child says, many children say tata. And I have seen in the families, the entire families, one of my close relatives as well, the entire family, whenever they talk to the child, they say, tata ko phone lagao, please call tata, make a call to tata. Likewise, they start talking. Why? Child may be non-verbal, child may be struggling with speech and language, but we are not. Child may be on one word or 2 words, but we need to give interaction. In fact, if child is at 1 word or 2 word, you should start giving 5 words. By the time speech is developing, at least child will have vocabulary. So it is interaction and two-way interaction, active involvement in the interaction that is required for the brain development, not the screen time. Screen time can give passive learning, but it cannot be the real world learning. It cannot be equal to the real world learning. So screen provides stimulation, dopamine release, but not the development. Important clarification here is that screens do not cause autism. Many of the parents come to us and say, my child was developing as per domains, but because of this COVID period, the Corona times, 2020 and 21, those days, we were sitting at home, so child was watching more of TV, didn't have exposure, and now child is with autism. So yes, children may show symptoms like autism that we call as virtual autism because of the screen time, but screens do not cause autism. They can worsen the symptoms of autism. They can delay the development in autism. So if a child is born with autism, and then given excess of screen time, the symptoms of the child may worsen. Okay. So the screen exposure and autism, again, so far we were talking about in general for all of us, for children, adults, everyone. And now with autism children, it is reduced social interaction, increased isolation, and reinforcement of repetitive behavior. Because you are watching one video, another video, third video, it is reinforcing you to do the repetitive behavior. So in autism, if you give excess of screen exposure, so it definitely, when the child is watching the screen, automatically the social interaction is getting impacted. It is going to zero. So reduce social interaction, increased isolation, child gets into more isolation, and reinforcement of repetitive behavior. It reinforces the repetitive behavior. And virtual autism, I've just now told you, these are autism-like symptoms due to screen exposure. We don't categorize that as autism spectrum disorder. Virtual autism is symptoms like autism, like poor eye contact, delayed speech, or reduced social engagement. And that happens because of screen exposure. We are seeing a lot of children these days who are given access of screen. That's why while doing the initial evaluation, I mean the assessment, we need to ask questions. We need to have questionnaire ready about the child's development, about the environment child had. And it is not only the child's screen time, it is parent screen time also equally important, equally responsible, because brain development requires positive interaction between parent or caregiver. So parent, caregiver with the environment, positive interaction, real interaction with the environment. That is the food, that is the nutrition for the brain. So if parent is occupied, we are not giving screen to our child. Okay, our child is not getting screen at all. However, we are occupied with on our screen and we don't have time to do interaction with the child will still show the symptoms like autism. So it is not only child screen time, but parent screen time that also needs to be looked at. So, but in autism, there is a bidirectional relationship. Please listen very carefully here. Children with autism prefer screen and screen worsens the symptoms. Then they prefer more screen worsens the symptoms. We know that screen is worsening the symptoms. Child is going more into autistic traits and child is preferring more screen. Addiction increases over time because child is going more, symptoms are worsening. And child starts using this as a mechanism to be away from social interaction, to be away from command following, to be away from eye contact. The deficits, whichever deficits are there in the child, he tries to avoid those things. Screen is the best mechanism children find. But yes, as I said, the best part is there is a hope for recovery. Brain is plastic, brain is adaptive. So if we make a doable or practical detox plan for the screen, definitely children can overcome this situation. So improvement is possible. Early intervention always works well. So before the child gets into here, the meaning of early intervention does not mean I'm just talking about with the age, but I'm talking about the screen time has just started. We have just started giving the screen before 2 years or before 2 months or 3 months. Or child has been using the screen or excessive of screen for last 10 years. That means early intervention is sooner you make a detox plan is better for you. Now, I have just now told you the parent screen time impact. So let us look into how parent screen time is impacting children. So it is not only children's screen time, but parent screen time also impacts a child's development, especially in autism. What is the prime role of parents in a child's development journey? Parents are the primary stimulation source to the child, and interactions shapes the brain. Now, by giving screen, You are replacing. You are replacing yourself from the primary stimulation source to the secondary stimulation source. Then primary becomes the screen. And then comes, if parent is too much occupied with the screen, there is a condition called digital neglect. There are many cases of digital neglect which are turning into behavioral disorders. We can't put them in the category of autism or ADHD, but we are just seeing them as behavioral disorders. If some of you who are teachers here, school teachers, I'm sure you will agree with this. In a classroom of 20 children, be it of any age, earlier there used to be 1 or 2 children with behavioral difficulties or disorders. And now we are seeing a minimum of 4 to 5 children with them out of 20. That means that makes it nearly 20 to 25% children are coming up with the behavioral disorders. That's a huge number. So why these behavioral disorders are happening? One of the causes is digital neglect. What is digital neglect? It's not that children have been given screen, but parents are physically present with them, but occupied on their phones and emotionally unavailable to them. So remember, if child is using screen, that is the screen time that is impacting the child's development. But in front of child, you are using the screen, that is also impacting child's development. Many times children, parents, they say that I watch screen only when the child sleeps. Just before a couple of slides, we have seen how the blue lights that come out of the screen affects the brain development. So child is sleeping next to you in the same room and you are watching screen. While sleeping also, we get sensory inputs. We get the sensory inputs while sleeping also. So hearing is working, auditory child's working. And the UV lights, the blue lights that we are getting from, not the UV, from the screen, that is also disturbing us. So that is affecting the child's development. So these cases are considered as digital neglect cases where parents are excessive on the screen. So the COVID period, those cases which we are diagnosing as virtual autism are actually of digital neglect cases. Excessive of screen time and digital neglect together. And there is a concept of still face concept that we need to understand. There is a research, it's a research-based concept. Let me tell you. A child was playing with mother, responding to the mother, playing, a very young child, a toddler, 6 months old. You can also try this with any child. So, child is playing with mother, responding, laughing, giggling, all of this is happening, facial, eye contact and facial expressions, everything is happening. Suddenly, mother stops responding to the child. The facial expressions become simple, very plain, blank. And mother stops responding. How does child respond? Child makes, because the child is 6 months old here in this scenario, so child makes some sounds. Child puts his hands, tries to draw the attention of mother. But after some time, if child is failed to draw the attention by making sound, by laughing out loudly, or by shouting, screaming, then child gets into distress and child starts crying. So no response from parent, children get into distress. How many times our children are expecting response from us and we are busy with our laptops or with our computer or TV series? And how many times we tell them not to disturb? Just think about it. Now the excuse from you can come, oh, I have to work from home. Then what to do? If you have to work from home, then create a separate, within your room also you can create a partition or create a separate room for you that should be treated as your office, and you are inside your office and you're working. Your work from home should not happen on sofa. Your work from home should not happen on the double bed or in the children playing area, where if you are present there, children would want to interact with you, would want you to be involved in their games and activities, and then you say, "Don't disturb me. Go and play in the other room." All of this puts them in distress. When they call you again and again, when they are addressing to you or expecting you to be part of their activities and you don't respond to them, that is still face concept. They try it more, like the 6 months old child was doing it. They try it a couple of times, they give some break and then they wait, hold, and then they try it. And when they fail multiple times, they get into distress. And that's where autism-like symptoms start. Screens create the similar effect. The similar effect is screen is just giving them input. Screen is not getting involved in their activities. Screen is not getting answering their questions. Screen is just giving them still face. So think how big damage we are doing to our children's brain development. And children imitate parents. That's why parent screen time is so high parent screen uses, child also uses high. Because children say, you also do that. You are on laptop. I'm also on laptop. You are working. Okay, I'm also working. Likewise, they imitate. So they learn from you. You expect that, okay, this is my free time after I've fulfilled my duties. Now I've asked my child to play outside or child to play with the toys, not with the screen. And I want to watch my daily soap, the serial, the TV or the movie. That doesn't happen. Because child wants to imitate you. Children imitate you and learn from you. So if you want to watch screen, they also want to watch screen. So the missing link, parent screen time is parent screen use predicts child screen exposure. So in our questionnaire, we always have the parent screen time questions, the use. That's why we just find out what is their work profile and how they work, how they prefer to work. Is it from home, from office? What are their routines? Not only the child's routines, but parent routines are also important. Because parent screen uses can predict child screen exposure. Reduced parent-child interaction plus more screen. Both the things happening together, remember? Because parent is using more screen, so parent and child interaction is reduced. Now child wants to imitate parent, so child's screen time is also increased. Together is like results into higher developmental risks for the brain. Parent and child engagement is actually proactive against autism symptoms. So we need to have for a development of proper development of the brain, we need to have parent-child engagement. Now, in the entire webinar, whenever I am saying parent, replace it with parent, grandparent, family members, and the caregivers. People who are single parent, they have their own responsibilities. They need to fulfill. Financial needs are also there. So need not to worry, but replace with the caretaker. So caretaker should be able to give time. Many of the times we have caretakers in our houses who come, stay with the child, and they are busy in their home. You have gone to the office, both the husband, wife, or the mother or the father, if you are single. You are busy in your work and you are assured, oh, my child is in safe hands. I have found a very qualified and well-trained caretaker, and I'm paying so big amount to the person. What that person is doing with my child is important. How much time that person is giving to my child and how that time is being utilized. So that monitoring is very, very important. So JKP Care Foundation, I just want to mention here, at JKP Care Foundation, we have a program where we are training the caregivers, training the caretakers. no matter what their financial, what their education or qualification background is. So we give them the daily plans, we give them activities that they need to do, and which involves child and them together for the interaction with the child, so that child's brain develops faster. So if anybody is in that situation where you have the caregivers and you have to go for your work and you have caretaker, but you do not know, caretaker is not trained and you do not know what caretaker is supposed to do with the child, or caretaker is just switching on the TV and giving it to the child, you can connect with us. We will create the plans. We will train, we'll monitor, observe, train the caregiver. We'll ensure that the caregiver is delivering the program with the monitoring, live monitoring we have through CCTVs, we have the live monitoring system also. So we'll be doing that. You can connect with us. And then it's not only parents, family screen culture. We take mobile phones on during meals or the screen before sleeping. So screen replaces the bonding not only with our children, even in husband and wife, even in grandparents and parents. The bonding is getting diluted because of the screen time. The interactions we used to do with them 20 years back, 30 years back are not happening now. So the family screen culture is also very, very important. Child's brain develops through connection, not through content. So this is a myth that I give this app or this information or this content to my child and child will develop, brain will develop. Child's brain develops through connection. You need to connect with your child, interact with your child. And then you'll see the real development in the child's brain, not just with the content. Now, I hope you have realized what all are the impacts of screen time, parent screen time, child screen time on the brain development, not only in autism, but in all the cases. Now, let us create a detox plan. How do I stop it now? My child has been using screen. How do I detox? How do I stop using the screen time? I understand and I accept, sir, that it is dangerous. I won't say harmful, I would say dangerous to my child. But how do I detox? Some small activities. Very simple plan. If somebody wants to create a detailed detox plan and want to discuss with me their struggle in screen time detox, you can definitely connect with me. My website is www.dralokarora.com or through jkp.ngo. These two websites we have, so you can connect with us and book an appointment with me. I'll be personally looking into the environment and the screen issues and the development of the child and create a plan and give it to you that is doable. That would be as per your needs, that is doable, and we'll do a follow-up of that plan also. But in general, I want to give you some strategies that you can include in your detox plan. What are those strategies? Let's look at them. Reset model. You need to follow a model that is called reset. RESET. So R, reduce gradually, not immediately, not in single day. Every day I am giving screen to my child and suddenly just because the doctor has told me, I want to avoid. And I am like, no screen from today. See what doctor has said? You will not get this screen. No. You need to reduce it gradually. Make a plan, systematic plan where you can, by which you can reduce your this. And then engage the child. If not screen, then what? What child is doing in that time, that is also important. You just say no screen, but then what? You ask them to go and play. Go to your room and play with your toys. That will not interest the child. Remember, a screen is releasing dopamine. And you need to give something which is in real world that is more stimulant to release that dopamine. So what could be that stimulation? What could be that excitement for the child? That we need to find out. That's why I said, if you find struggle in that, connect with me, book an appointment, and I will be able to help you with that. But we need to first see child's strengths, child's likings, dislikings, and then create a plan. What can give more dopamine to the child's brain than the screen? If you're able to find that, children will never go back to the screen. I've seen children who were on the screen and now even if you show them the screen, they are least bothered. They are least interested. Not only the children, the adults also. At Spandan, the residential rehab center we have an adult, I cannot name him here, but for last 28 years, he was kept on the screen. 24/7 TV was on. If the TV stops for a minute, maybe because of some technical issues or maybe power cuts or something, he used to break the TV. And I'm talking about the real case. If somebody wants, you can connect with me and I'll connect you with the parents of the child. There is no thing. It's not a hypothetical example. The child used to break remotes, like 7 to 8 remotes, and at least 2 to 3 TVs in a year. Thankfully, parents were financially well off and they could support the child by providing new TV, new remote every time. But 24/7 TV. And the same child today watches TV just 1 hour a day at Spanda. And that too, if it is not available, it's fine. With the right engagement of the child. Gradual reduction and right engagement. Then we also need to give structured routine to them. So within the structured routine, we need to give TV time or screen time. So they know, and predictability is there. They know that after this or at this hour, I am going to see the TV. It's not that note screen. Then have a link with emotional connection. Have built emotional connection with the child. And then teach boundaries. We need to have the boundaries. Boundaries within our environment. Boundaries when the screen can be explored, when it cannot be explored. So one by one, I've already explained it to you. So reduce gradually, do not stop suddenly, start co-viewing. So on day one, you should not stop the screen, but sit with the child and start co-viewing, start talking about what child is watching, what is happening on the screen, so that you are from the screen, one-way communication, you are taking the child to two-way communication, interaction. But screen is on. Gradually, when child is comfortable with this discussion, interaction, your interaction should increase more, screen time should go down. So reduce step by step. And set limits of watching. Engage, play with the child, talk, sing, interact, replace screens with bonding. Structure routine, fixed daily schedules, and predictability reduces the dependency. So you give them the predictability also that we are going to watch screen at this hour, after lunch or after dinner or after coming back from the school. And then give it at that time because gradual reduction is happening. Emotional connect, give them 30 minutes daily undistracted time. Time that is only for the child. No sibling interaction at that time, no other other activities of the house, or no other disturbances, no phone calls. 30 minutes you just play with your child every day. It will build the emotional connection. But I need to underline this undistracted time. There should not be any distractions in that 30 minutes. It's just you and the child. Give proper eye contact and do the responsive interaction. So whenever you are interacting with the child, It shouldn't be in a way of lecture that you are just speaking and child is listening, or only child is speaking and you are listening. It has to be in responsive interaction. Both the people, child and parent, both should give response to each other. If child is non-verbal, gestural response child can give. You can use PECS system, picture exchange communication system. So with picture exchange, child can respond to you. But the response is it. And then teach boundaries. No screen during meals. No screen on the dinner table. No screen before the sleep time. But whatever boundaries you are making for the child, you need to follow that. The entire family needs to follow that because child will imitate you. So before going to the dinner table, you keep your phone aside. Then the child will also follow. Before going to the bed, and I suggest bedroom should be zero digital environment. So no TV in the bedroom, no phone in the mobile phone in the bedroom. Just keep them out. So when you go to the bed, there is no digital environment around you. Some people again question, sir, what to do? I need to put an alarm for the morning. We have alarm clocks still available in the market. I also have one, and I use the alarm clock, the traditional alarm clocks. So you can use an alarm clock. Why you want to use your phone? Keep it on the side of your head, below your pillow, and get affected with radiation throughout the night. Disturb sleep. So keep your phone in the hall, in other room, but not in your bedroom. TVs should never be installed in the bedroom. They should always be in the living room. What to do with people who live in just one room apartments, studio apartments? Sir, we just live in that. How we can work out this situation? Have a cupboard. Keep the phones, laptops inside the cupboard. Lock it before you go off to bed. Have a small curtain in front of your TV. Just put a curtain. So there is no TV in front of you and no temptations to watch the TV. And create screen-free zones. The biggest screen-free zone has to be your bathrooms, your toilets. We are seeing everybody taking the phone inside the washroom. We all are qualified enough. We know how many germs are there. And at the time of washroom, in the washroom, we are taking the phone. Okay, we are washing hands with soap. Are we washing our phone? The same phone we are carrying in our kitchen, same phone we are carrying during our meal time. Imagine what are we doing with us? It's not affecting only the development, but also um, the health. So you should have clear identification screen-free zone. You can print out screen-free, screen-free, screen-free zone and put it in your house. Bedroom, screen-free zone. On the door itself, you should have that printout. Washroom, on the door itself. Kitchen, on the door itself. Just the living room can be with the screens. Or if you're working from home, then your office room for working room or study room can be for this. So teach boundaries and follow boundaries yourself first. If you do not follow and just teach, it's not going to work out. Here there is a 7-day detox plan. So day 1 to 2 starts with co-viewing, reduce by 20%. So start first day and second day, you start watching with the child. Automatically, you will see the screen time of child is reduced by 20% because in co-viewing, you are doing the interaction also with the child. So when you start co-viewing and start interaction with the child, screen time automatically reduces. You don't have to cut short screen time. You don't have to put the child under stress and child starts enjoying your interaction. It's just a 7 days detox plan. That's why it is like this. In practical, it doesn't work like this so fast. So what day 1 and 2, you may have to take first 1 week for this day 1 and 2 to reduce 25%. Depending upon child to child, depending upon environment to environment. That's why individualized detox plans are always more effective. But this is just a sample plan I'm giving. You can increase the length. You can increase from day 1 to 5 for the first step. Second step can come on the sixth day. Perfectly fine. Even if instead of 7 days, if you are able to achieve this in a month, that is also fine. How much time it is taking to reach to our goal is not important. We are reaching to our goal of no screen time or zero screen time is important. So day third and fourth, you replace it with play. Day fifth and sixth, structured routine. And day 7 is a screen-free day. That's how step by step we can create our detox plan. The replacement activities now, what I can replace with play, sensory play, outdoor play, pretend play, storytelling, music and movement, all of these. Depending upon child's likings, child's strengths, you need to plan out. So the summary for today's session is I took a little extra. It's 9 o'clock. Screens impact brain development. Autism symptoms can worsen with the screen. Parents play a crucial role in screen time and detox is possible. Yes, the detox is possible. We just need to plan for it. With this, I want to end with the presentation. I'm open for the questions. If there are any questions, let me just look at the live. Allow me a minute. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box and I will be answering. Okay, I've got first question. क्या ज्यादा स्क्रीन टाइम से ऑटिज्म ज्यादा बिहेवियर डेवलप हो सकता है? आई एम ट्रांसलेटिंग इट इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो द क्वेश्चन इज can behavior be developed with this excess of screen time? It can in autism, and the answer is yes. हाँ, अगर स्क्रीन टाइम ज्यादा है तो ऑटिज्म जैसा बिहेवियर डेवलप हो सकता है और उसको हम वर्चुअल ऑटिज्म भी बोलते हैं. समटाइम्स it deficits in all areas, many areas, not only just in behavior, but sometimes deficit only in behavior. So autism जैसा behavior excess screen time से develop होता है. Yes, there any other person who has a question, you can put your questions to the chat box today. So meanwhile, I want to tell you this webinars are being conducted by JKP Care Foundation, which is a non-profit government registered organization. And I do these webinars every Thursday and Sundays. Sometimes due to some or other concerns or some festivals, we don't conduct. So last week we didn't have webinars because of Easter and other festivals. We do it on the same time, 8 o'clock India time. And on Thursdays, it is just YouTube Live. And on Sundays, it is YouTube Live as well as on Zoom also. So we have a group for webinar. How do we come to know? How will you come to know about the upcoming webinars, the dates and the topics about it? So we have a group of WhatsApp group free of cost to join. There is no charges for these webinars and the groups are also free. So webinars by Dr. Alok Arora, there are multiple groups, group 1, 2, 3, 5. So you can, wherever you have received this link from, you can email via email or via WhatsApp, you can just reply there that you want the chat group invite. They will send you the link to join the group and you can join the group. So there we are just sharing these presentations, whatever I'm presenting here, I'm usually sharing that in the group. And we are also putting the schedules there, I mean, the topics and the timings for the upcoming webinars. I have another question here now from Dominic Boyce. My question, what stimulation could you use instead of screen time? See, that we need to plan as per the child. We need to look into the child's strength first and the likings, the interest areas. And accordingly, we need to decide what stimulation can we give. One stimulation that can work for a child may not work for the child. So if I say music and dance activity, some children might find it very interesting and some might not be interested at all. So as per the child's strengths, you need to go with. Next question from Mary is, sir, thank you for the detox plan. We'll surely use this at home. Mary, yes, this is just a simple plan. I've just given you the steps. But you need to create a detailed detox plan, not only for the child, but for the entire family. And this will work. Definitely, it will work. If you need support or guidance, just connect with me and I'll be there to support. Okay, next is like a healthy way, Dominic. Okay, this is in continuation to the question. What stimulation could you use instead of screen time, like a healthy way? You can use activities, sensory play. You can use, I've already given you multiple options there. Music, dance, activities, outdoor activities, pretend play, sensory play, all of this. Next is from Bhagirathi. Very informative, and you explained in depth and stimulation for introspection. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bhagirathi. Thank you for your appreciation. Your kind words motivate me to do more. So we'll be doing one more webinar now on Sunday. So on Sunday, our webinar series is going on, and the series is about autism, lifespan management of autism. So Thursdays we are taking different topics, but Sundays we are going in continuation about autism management. So we'll be continuing. The topic will come in the group, WhatsApp group. I request you all to join the WhatsApp group. You can reply to the message which you have received, and the coordinators will send you the WhatsApp group link. You all can join. Okay, if there are no more questions now, we can end for today. And anybody who wants to connect with me, please visit my website www.dralokarora.com, or you can also visit us at www.jkp.ngo. Thank you. Wish you all a very good night and connect with you all on Sunday now at the same time, 8 o'clock. Thank you very much.